father beat upon my mother almost every day. And my mother will always say, let's go in our room. She would always lead them back to the room, thinking that we wasn't hearing her. It was myself and my younger brother. And we would hear him, and some days he came back to bed with me because, he was afraid.
It's some tablecloth.
Very, very tight because of that.
They go.
But to say abuse at 4 years old, I always had
Right
this
there.
vision of this man. I'm thinking it was my father, but God has a way of showing you things. I was 50 some odd years and that vision came to me. It was like grandpa. Let's start. Because I would always, when you get, I always say with him. I remember that. It tickled me. I remember that now. And I was 4. From him dying, the abuse didn't stop. Because I learned it was in the whole family. It was part of our DNA. So, watching my father, we went through 3 women that he abused. And when it became me as well. And I was always too afraid to say anything to anyone. My younger sister came along and I'm like, how can I protect her? But we had different mothers, so I wasn't at
I forgot.
And I know she was going through something, but she would talk about it. I mean, I see this man just tear women down, and it was at his 3rd wife. She was a very light-skinned girl, and I just pushed her away and said, hit me, don't hit her anymore, because I ain't got a justice to be hit. And I thought that was the way to go. But it wasn't, and I just lived my life, and that family got to the point. When I had my first child, I said, I am not going to do this more. And I'm the oldest grandchild in my family. I'm the one that had to stop with me to break that thing. I prayed about it. And I once hit my daughter, and she put her hands up, hit me over mommy. I see me later. I turned, I left out, and I never touched her. Because the abuse of my father was bad. And I held on to it. I held when I decided 28, 29, I would turn my life back over to Jesus. Because that's where I need to be. Where my life all in and out of men and women. It just was so in the world where I was just so obedient and everything. I mean, frankly, I should have been in jail for that. The Lord held on to me. And some of the men I had in my life is not great. But I did what I had to do. I did what I had to do to get my rent paid. I did what I had to get my bills paid. And my girls had things, my cars working. And my sister once said to me, you ain't never going out. I said, no, baby, I'm not. Because what you don't understand, I don't always have to lay down to get what I want. But I got what I want. So don't think every person you see me with, I'm like that.
That's right. That's right.
I had to counsel her, like, baby, you don't have to do that. She was doing it constantly. I couldn't stop her. The abuse in my life, early in my 20s, mid 20s, I started looking at women. I'm not going to do that anymore because they're going to hit me up, they're going to get on my nerves. So I went through that. 19 years in that lifestyle. As I say, I'm in the process of getting back to Jesus. And it's still going on. I married a woman. It was beautiful for 8 years. When this woman was up on the pedestal for me, when she left me, cheated on me, told me right in my face, it tore my world up. I was clubbing every night, going to work, sleeping at the desk. I was doing everything that was destructive. But God came to me, and my ex was paying my rent when he first came back into the air. You know, for 6 months, and God protected me. You could do that. You're stronger than that. You're stronger than that. So once he did that, I told him stop. I paid my own rent. I did my own rent. I need to let you go. But they that held us together because we had kids together. We adopted our son at birth. My daughter, she just grew up in that area. And when I did come back to Ben, she asked me why. She didn't have an understanding at first. And this is what God wanted me to do. At this time, I'm an ordained minister. And that's not the right thing to do. And I came back. I came in, stepped in that water, and got the wrong man. He was a double juice. He was alcoholic. And first I said, oh, he just drinks a little. I covered up. But once I got to stay, he was drinking up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, getting a bottle. Before he brushed his teeth, he was getting a bottle. So I said, I just want to
That's my panel, y'all. My panel.
You know, because he was the first man that came back at 22 years and older than men. I just, my loving husband of today, he hit me on Facebook. I didn't know who he was at church. Matter of fact, it came into my head, I was asleep, I jumped up and my ex was right there. I said, I know who he is. I was asleep. And he was like, what are you talking about? But at that time, it wasn't for a way I was doing. You know, I was too through with that. I come up with my job, it's embarrassing for my family, being thrown. I couldn't do it. My mother said, do you want to marry him? I said, well, he loves the bottle. He loves the fact that you like to do things for him. So, that time I fought with mama and his mom. We got into a fight together. He was fighting and tearing up the baby. And the next day she sat me down. Well, I was going to go to church, having a little collar on. Got a minute. And she told me, go downstairs and get all the food. You are a good person. You're a woman of God. You go to work. You take care of the things that you're supposed to take care of. You just stop. My car was in shop. She took me to the metro. She says, I love you. You're a good girl. But don't come back no more. My son is not for you. I just chatted up my husband for a little bit. But it had to be the love of God because he's a musician. He plays so beautifully. And I love the fact he's not one that went to training school. He trained himself. And with the help of his mother. That to me was a man that's dedicated to the Lord. He planted his seeds.
Mm-hmm.
It was a beautiful thing. Just to go back and look at. We dated. I was 16, 17, he was 20. He dated for a short time. I stayed with my auntie in GBC. Then I decided to go home. Love touch. I believe that was the time God was giving us a time to go through our lives and the trouble and things that we need to go through. He had a plan. And he wanted that. And I knew the first kiss, when I kissed him, he shot.
Alrighty.
But through our ups and downs and changes and things, when we are together and we preach and understand, I mean, when we preach together, that man, he's a preacher. Okay. He just won't say it. His ministry is his music. But he knows the word, and that was something that was, I'll be quite frank, it was kind of a turn on because he knew the word. Hey,
240. Oh,
He had that power around him. You know, so
240.
I love them.
Come on, time.
The one thing that,
Right.
okay,
Yeah.
that has
Time wrapped
too
up.
much, too long. That brings me up to life now that I love, and we're working through everything we need to work through. It's 9 years now.
That's congratulations.
I said after 5, I guess I keep them.
Now that is
But that was my testimony. And my nonprofit is Defending the Olive Branch.
Yes.
It is a nonprofit for women and children. And what is it? A resource center. Being a resource center means I'm going out and I'm getting resources to come inside the lake. So they don't have to go anywhere. Everything I can get to come in that building, they can come in that building and get. If I don't have it in, I have all these wonderful connections, New World Family, New Nation, Kingdom, and I take all calls. And I keep them. And I see that I don't have a building, but if I keep something, I know it, and I have a connection, I'm going to find it. And that's what the Extending the Olive Branch is about. It's on my website, www.extendingtheolivebranch.org.
Yay!
Because I am a counselor, I'm a preacher, I'm a lover, and I just love everything.
Yes.
Especially the Lord. He's the head of my life.
That's what's up. Yay! He's gonna be wrong with it no more. Next. My next person is Minister Crystal Huge. Yay!